Hello again, welcome back to the channel. I want to make this one a little bit of a short comment. Basically, I want to say thank you to all of the nearly 500 people who've now signed up and subscribed to the channel. I'm blown away by that, quite frankly, because it's only been a week last Friday since the main video I did with Chris Sale went live, and obviously a lot of traffic's come through to my site or to my page based on that, and as a result of that I've obviously now got somewhere in the region of just under 500 people subscribed. That surprises me a lot, and I'm very pleased, with the comments I'm getting back from people. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to all you guys out there, and especially the people that bother to actually comment, because it really does help, because it helps me to give a direction to this channel. On that note, in the next few weeks I'm actually going to be going to Lofoten in northern Norway, and I'm going with a very good and very famous landscape photographer called Hans Strand, who's a friend of mine. We've been on a lot of workshops together over the years. He is very focused on a very special form of landscape called intimate landscape, and his work is stunning. Some of his project work and his exhibitions are just to die for. If I were only a fraction of how good he is, I'd be pleased with it. Anyway, while I'm in Lofoten with Hans and also with a chap called Trim Ivor, he's going to, we're going to spend time together, and I'm going to interview them, and I'm also going to vlog the whole process of my time whilst I'm in Lofoten. So it'll be a mixture of all sorts of different things. There'll probably be several vlogs come out of that, but also I've got a list on my computer here of vlogs that I want to put up over the next coming weeks and months. And I would appreciate in the comments below anything you would like to say about or suggestions, which ones you don't think would work and which ones you think would. So what I'm going to do is just read from the screen, because I can't look at the camera and read from the screen at the same time easily. No, I can't. The first one is I want to do landscape photography with a long lens. I think a lot of people actually assume all landscape photography has got to be done with wide or medium lenses, sort of in the range sort of 16 up to sort of 80mm. I tend to veer the opposite way, and I like to actually quite often go into the hundreds of millimeters. It's not uncommon to see me with a 100 to 400 lens on taking landscape images. So I want to go through my thought processes and examples of when that's worked and why it's worked for me. That's one. The second one is I want to cover the subject of minimalism in photography, negative space, and also what represents fine art photography, which seems to be a completely, how dare I say this, virtually undescribed subject. It's different things to different people. I'll give you in this vlog what I believe it is to me, and I'll probably critique a few pictures along the way. The next one I want to do is I want to do one on ultra-wide angle photography in landscape. By that I mean sort of 8mm up to about 20mm focal length. There's a very special set of circumstances that work well when you actually have such a wide lens, and I think a lot of people try to capture too much, and I think there are ways I can show you how I've used them in the past, and it might help you guys. Even if you don't like the way I'm using it, at least you'll see how someone else thinks about the way they take their pictures. Now the next one from that is I want to do one on macro photography, something I don't do very often but I have done in the past. Macro photography is a very special branch of photography, and the images can be absolutely stunning. If you're into, for instance, insects and small animals, you get some wonderful effects, or if you're into nature and flowers and the beauty of the natural world, you can get some stunning effects with macro. But it comes with its own special set of problems, and I'll hopefully in that particular vlog go through how I deal with those when I'm taking shots, how I handle focus stacking, shallow depth of field, and all the issues that come with macro photography. The one I want to do after that it's called landscape photography. It's not just about sunrises and sunsets. I personally don't do sunrises and sunsets very much. I think they're overrated. I think a lot of people think that's the only part of landscape photography. Unless you've got a sunrise or a sunset happening, there's nothing to take photographs of. And I would beg to disagree with that quite a lot, because I often take a lot of pictures in midday what other people consider are inappropriate lighting conditions, and I think it's down to the eye of the photographer to find things that are there and bring them out and actually express them in your own way. So that will cover that. I'm going to do one which will be incredibly controversial because I'm a drone user, and I know a lot of people out there don't like drones. It's a very Marmite subject amongst photographers, and I suspect I've actually lost some followers on the channel, and probably Chris did, by the use of the drone in the video that I did with Chris up in the Lake District. And I want to go over my thought processes about using drones. I want to cover how I consider that I'm responsible doing it, and how I minimise my impact both on other people, other photographers, and also any wildlife that's present, because I think it's important that we have absolutely minimal impact with a drone. And I want to explain the thought processes that I go through before I'll even put the drone up. After that, I'm going to cover photography in very cold conditions. This is on the back of the trip to Lofoten, which I'm going on starting next Tuesday. I've been to Lofoten 3 times in the past. I've also been to Iceland 5 times. I've been to Greenland twice, and I like very much very cold places, but it does bring with it its own special set of problems. From watching other people's videos of these locations, you think it's all day at the sort of seaside, and it isn't, because temperatures as low as at night -25–30 bring with them their own problems, not the least of which is that batteries only last a fraction of the time you expect them to. But in that video I'm going to be talking about how the cold affects your equipment and how to get around those and minimise and mitigate those problems. I'm going to do several in Lofoten, as I mentioned. One of those will be a specialised vlog on how to actually capture the aurora. At this time of year the aurora will be quite strong there, and we'll get, if the cloud conditions and the moon conditions are good, we'll get a lot of opportunity to take quite a few sort of night scenes there. And given that night lasts from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 10 o'clock the following morning, there's a lot of time to do it in. Anyway, I hope I haven't bored you with that. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching. If you have got any comments, please put them in the section below, and stay tuned to see what I do with these vlogs moving forwards. Thank you very much.